Hello and welcome to today's Crack Maths live lesson, where we're actually a bit different from functional skills today. We are looking at a GCSE past paper for the non-calculator section, just because I know that the next paper that people are going to be doing, a lot of people that do functional skills do GCSE, and there is a massive crossover as well between maths GCSE and functional skills. So I've just decided to do this today. I'm just checking. Oh, okay, perfect. There we go. Everything is working, so that's all good. One second, let me just sort this out, and then I can continue going. So here we go. Yeah, that's all okay. If you are watching and you've got any questions or anything, feel free to drop them in the chat. Other than that, I'm actually just going to start going at looking through this paper. Just a side point. If you need any extra help on any of these topics, I have also put links in the description for each question number for where I have got a more detailed lesson plan on how to learn the topic that the how to learn the topic that the question is talking about. Okay, so let's get started. So here we go, we've got question 1, and this question says, here is a list of numbers, work out the range of these numbers. So the range means is the highest value, take away the lowest value. So on here, the highest value is 8 and the lowest value is 2. So to calculate the range, what we're going to do is we're going to do 8 take away 2, and that equals 6. Okay, right, let's have a look at the next question. So this next question here, it says, work out 120, take away 89. So I am going to do that with the column method. So we've got 120, and we're taking away 89. Okay, we can't take 9 away from 0, so we borrow 1 from here. So this is now like 110 plus 10, which is 120. So I'm going to do 10 take away 9, which is 1. And then we can't do 1 take away 8, so I'm going to have to borrow this 1 and put this up here. So now I'm going to do 11 take away 8, which is 3. So work out 120 take away 89, and the answer is 31. Okay, question 3. So here we go. Simplify 3 times a times 4. Well, when you're multiplying things together, it doesn't matter which way round you're multiplying them. So we could think about this as 3 times 4 times a. 3 times 4 is 12. So this is like 12 times a. Now, when we're looking at numbers next to letters, you don't actually have to write the times sign here. We just assume that any number next to a letter is being multiplied by that letter. So we're going to just call this 12a. Okay, right. Next question. This is a little bit tricky because I don't have an online protractor. But what you would do in order to measure the size of this angle is you would need a device that looks like this. It's called a protractor. And in the centre, there's a dot. And around this side, there's going to be numbers. So there's going to be numbers all the way around here. Okay, so here is my protractor. And what you do is you position your protractor, okay, with the dot at the centre, like this. And then we rotate it round. Okay, so you rotate it round so one of the lines matches up with one of the lines that that has been drawn for you, and then you read from this direction round to here, okay, and you look for this number, and the numbers, they start at 0. So like here's going to be 0, here would be about 10, here would be about 20, here would be about, that's 12, here would be 20, here would be 30. Okay, so this would probably be 30 degrees if we were going to get that there. So I'm going to put 30 degrees there, and that's going to be that. Right, okay, so next question. Work out 1/5 of 300. Okay, so 1/5 of 300 means, well, remember we've got our fractions here. A half means divide 2. A third means divide by 3. A quarter means divide into 4. So a fifth means divide by 5. Okay, so we're going to have to do here 300 divided by 5. Now 300 divided by 5, what we get here is, I'm going to use the bus stop method to do this. So we've got 300 here. We're going to put a 5 there. Now 5 into 3 doesn't go. So I put a 0 up here and I carry the 3. Now we're looking 5s into 30. So I'm going to quickly count down my 5 times table. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 5s into 30 go once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times, so I can put a 6 up here. And then I've got 5 into 0 again, doesn't go. So I'm going to put a 0 there. So the answer to this question, 300 divided by 5, will be 60. So I can put that here clearly on my answer line. And then that's that. Right, let's move on to the next question. Here we go. There are 3 litres of oil in a can. Jermaine uses 700 millilitres of oil. Work out the amount of oil left in the can. Okay, so we've got 2 options here. We can either turn our millilitres into litres, or we can turn our litres into millilitres. And, oh, 1 second. They've got a little bit extra here. I didn't even read this bit. It says, give your answer in millilitres. So we're going to be best turning our numbers all into millilitres. So 1 litre equals 1,000 millilitres. Okay, so if I've got 3 litres, well, that is 3 lots of 1 litre. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to times this 1,000 by 3. Now, the way that we can do it is we can kind of listen to it when we say it. So 1 times 3 is 3. 1,000 times 3 would be 3,000. Okay, so here we go. So that is 3,000 millilitres. So we now know how much oil we have in the can. We've got 3,000 millilitres. So then we can take away the 700. So I've got 3,000 here. Take away 700. So 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 7 we can't do. So I'm going to have to turn this into a 2 and borrow 1. 10 take away 7 is 3. 2 take away nothing is 2. So the answer for this question is going to be 2,300 millilitres. So I can put that over here as 2,300 millilitres. Okay, right, let's go on to the next question. So here we go, we've got question 7 here, and it says Matt is drawing a scale diagram. So again, this is a massive functional skills crossover question here, scale drawing. So Matt is drawing a scale diagram. 1 centimetre represents 5 metres. He draws a 3 centimetre line. What is the real distance? Okay, so let's think about this. We've got our 3 centimetre line. Here we go. We've got 1 centimetre here. We've got 2 centimetres here. Well, so that's the 2nd centimetre. And we've got the 3rd centimetre here. Each of these centimetres represents 5 metres. So this is 5 metres, this is 5 metres, and this is 5 metres. So what we get there is that's going to give us 15 metres. Okay, we could have laid this out in a direct proportion way. We could have said 1 centimetre equals 5 metres. And then underneath we could have written 3 centimetres equals, well, to go from 1 to 3, we've times by 3. So to go from, we have to times this side by 3 as well. and that gives us 15. And so there we go. That will be 15 meters. Okay, right. So let's have a look at this next question. And so this next question says, the real distance between 2 points is 20 meters. What is the distance between 2 points on the scale diagram? So remember, we have 1 centimetre equals 5 metres. Now the real distance this time is 20 metres. So I'm going to put 20 metres here. So I need to work out what have I done to get from 5 to 20. So in other words, 5 times what equals 20. So if I'm wondering about 5 times what equals 20, what I need to do is in order to answer this bit, I can do 20 divided by 5. Okay, well 20 divided by 5 is going to be 4. So this will be 4 centimetres. Okay, so I can see that I times this side by 4, times this side by 4. So there we go. So the answer to what is the distance between the 2 points in the scale diagram is going to be 4 centimetres. Okay, right. Next question here. So question 8 says, Miss Bailey asked 24 students where they each wanted to go on a school trip. Okay, here are the results. And we need to complete a frequency table and a tally chart. Okay, so I'm going to do this by looking at it piece by piece and then just crossing them off. So I've got a castle here, I've got a castle there, I've got a castle here, I've got a castle here, I've got a castle here. Every fifth one we have to put a line through like this. I've got a castle here, 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 I've got a castle here. So I'm going to do it all first and then I'll write the frequencies at the end just in case I've accidentally missed anything. Right, let's do the farms next. So I've got a farm here, a farm there, a farm there, a farm there, a farm there, a farm here, a farm here. Okay, that looks like all the farms. Ah, yeah, I was right. There's another castle here. So cross that off, put that there. Okay, now do the museums. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right. So hopefully this is right. I don't know if it is. I think I've gone wrong. I can see that I've got too many. So this first one I've got 12. This second one I've got 7. And this third one I've got 6. Okay, let's just check. Oh, no, it is right. It is right. 12 add 7 is 19. 19 add 6. Oh, no, it's wrong. It is 25. Ah, damn it. Okay, right. So I need to double check where I have gone wrong. I bet you it was that extra castle. I'm sorry if you've all scribbled off these. I'm just going to have to go like this. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it was the extra castle. I must have double counted it. Right, so let's get rid of that. Get rid of this. Okay. There we go. And then that's good. Now we've got a nice answer here. That would equal... Let's try this again. So instead, we've got 11 add 7 is 18. And then we've got 18 add 6 is 24. Yes! Okay. Whew. We're all good. Okay, right. So now next question is write down the place that is the mode. Okay, so the mode is the most common. So which one of these places is the most common? It's the one that most people went to. And so most people went to the castle. Okay, because I can see that 11 people went there. So I can write here, castle. Remember, it's the place that's the mode. It's not the 11, okay? It's the place. And that's why they said that there as well. Okay, right, let's have a look at the next question. Draw a bar chart to show this data. Okay, right, so, 1 second. Can I remember what that data was? So, I think I can actually. So, it was castle, which is 11. I can't remember what that data was. Right, it was farm is 7 and museum is 6. Farm is 7, museum 6. Right, so let me just change the orientation of this. Okay, so I need to get my data on here. I need that this side is going to be my frequency, which is the number of people, and this side is going to be the activity or the place. Let's call it place. I think that's the word that they were using. Right, now, I'm going to go square for square. Okay, so I'm going to say, I think it looks like there's more than 11 squares here, so this is going to be nice and straightforward. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll put a few more numbers on here for fun. So we're going all the way up to 11. Well, I've gone up to 13. And then I'm going to just draw my bars. So I'm going to go 2. There's only 3 things to put in, so I'm going to go 2 apiece. So this first one's the castle. This second place, I'm going to go here. I'm going to leave a space between each bar as well, just to make it nice and clear. So the next one is the farm. And the third one, I'm going to leave the space again. This is going to be my museum. And then I'm going to draw up to the right place. So castle needs to go up to 11. Remember in your exam, use a ruler. Farm is going to go up to 7. Here we go. And museum goes up to 6. Oh. Thanks, Austin. Okay, right. So, there we go. We've done that. That is our bar chart done. Right, question 9. Here we go. We've got here... So, I'm going to rotate back now so it's a bit larger. Right, so here we've got Selena has a bag of 22 counters. 5 of the counters are blue. 9 of them are red. 8 of them are pink. Selena takes a random counter from the bag. Write down the probability that Selena takes a red counter. Right, well, there's 22 counters, so we know that this is going to be out of 22. And out of those 22 counters, 5 of them are blue, 9 of them are red, 8 of them are pink. Double check the colour. She wants a red one. Red is 9. Okay, so here we go. Perfect. So that's that first one done. Next one. Does not take a pink counter. Aha, so they're being tricky here. So not taking a pink counter means that she's taking a blue counter or she's taking a red counter. So there's 5 blue counters plus 9 red counters, which makes 14 counters. Okay, so we've got 14 counters here out of 22. So this one will be 14 out of 22. Right, next bit. Takes a white counter. Now they're really being sneaky because there's only red, blue and pink counters in the bag, which means there's no white counters. So the probability of getting a white counter is 0 out of 22. Or you could have just written 0, or you could probably get away with writing impossible. But 0 out of 22 I think seems in keeping with what they're up to. Okay, question 10. Here are the ingredients to make 20 peanut butter cookies. Okay, 250 grams of peanut butter, 200 grams of sugar, and 2 small eggs. Derek wants to make 60 cookies. He has 900 grams of peanut butter, Does Derek have enough peanut butter to make the cookies with? Okay, right, so we're going to be making multiple amounts of this recipe, okay, because it's only for 20 cookies and we need to make 60 cookies. Okay, so what we want to do is, we know that, well, so one round of this recipe is 20 cookies. So one round is 20 cookies. 2 rounds would be 40 cookies, and 3 rounds would get us up to our 60 cookies. Okay, so we want 3 rounds of it, so that means we need the ingredients 3 times. Okay, so that means we need this to make 60. We need to times this by 3. We need to times this by 3, this by 3, this by 3. We only care about the peanut butter, so we're only going to do the 250 times 3. So let's write that here. 250 times 3. Whatever method for long multiplication you have, feel free to use it. So what we've got here is 0 times 3 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5, yeah, 3 times 5 is 15. So put a 5 there. Put the 1 underneath. 3 times 2 is 6. Add the 1, gets us to 7. Right, so to make 3 lots of these cookies, we need 750 grams of peanut butter. He's got 900 grams of peanut butter. So yes, he has enough. As 900 grams is more than 750 grams. Okay, great. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so here we go. Question 11. On a grid, draw an enlargement of this triangle with a scale factor of 3. Okay, so let's work out, well, let's do the easy bit first. This side's nice and easy. This side is 2. A scale factor of 3 means that we're going to times each side by 3. So 2 times by 3, I'll just put that there. 2 times 3 equals 6. So the new bottom side is going to be 6 long. So we're going to go 2, 4, 6. Okay. So that's what the bottom's going to look like. I think in order to get the rest of this, I know that this is an isosceles triangle. So I'm just going to go with this middle measurement here. So the height of the triangle is currently 3. So because it's a scale factor of 3, I'll have to multiply this by 3. So 3 times 3 equals 9. So I need a new height of 9. But I'm not going to draw the line because it might look misleading. So I'll just put, that's 1 lot of 3, 2 lots of 3, 3 lots of 3. So let me draw this over to there and draw this down to there. Okay, and that's that done. 1 second, I will be back very quickly. Just think about that. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's see if there's anything more in this question. Nope, and that's that question fine. Okay. Okay. Question 12. What we have here is it says P equals 2G plus 4H. Work out the value of P when G equals 3 and H equals 5. Okay, so remember with a formula, whenever we see letters and numbers next to each other, it means that we're multiplying them together. So for this one, what that's going to mean is going to mean that P equals 2 times G plus 4 times H. We're told that G is 3 and H is 5. So we're going to get P equals 2 times 3 plus 4 times H, which is 5. Now, remember, with the laws of BODMAS, we always do multiplication first. So we're going to just work out these multiplications before we add them together. So here we go. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 5 is 20. So here we go, and then we can add those together, and that makes 26. Right, next bit. Work out the value of G when oh, okay, it's a bit trickier this time. Work out the value of G when P equals 38 and H equals 3. So this time, I've got 38 over here equals 2G plus 4H, so 4 times 3. So I'm going to rewrite that there. 38 equals 2G plus 12. Now, what I've got to think about here is I've got to think about what number plus 12 equals 38. So I'm thinking about what plus 12 equals 38. Okay, now the way to find this out is by doing 38 take away 12. Okay, because this is like another reverse calculation type thing. So 38 take away 12 is 8 take away 2 is 6, 3 take away 1 is 2. So 26 plus 12 equals 38. So that means that 2G must be equal to 26. So I know that 2G equals 26. Now remember, 2G means 2 times G. Okay, so 2 times G, 2 times something equals 26. So what I have to think about is what times 2 equals 26, or in other words, what is 26 divided by 2? Because remember, we can rearrange these three things. Well, 26 divided by 2 is 13. So if 2 times something equals 26, that something must be 13. So G equals 13. Right. Oh, we've got another formula. V equals 3R minus Q. Work out the value of V when R equals -3 and Q equals 2. Okay, right, so V equals 3 times -3 minus 2. Right, so 3 times 3 is 9, so 3 times -3 is -9, okay? So 3 times 3 is 9, so 3 times -3 would be -9. -9 minus 2. Okay, remember, numbers mark how far they are away from 0, okay? So if I think about this here, if I'm at -9, okay, and I'm going to -2, that means I'm getting two more spaces away from 0. So I'm going to go in this direction here. Minusing a number means you're getting further away from the 0. So here we go. So -9, -10, -11. Okay, so V will equal -11. Here we go. And I can put that there. Right, let's have a look at the next bit. Chloe is making scrunchies. Chloe is making scrunchies. Chloe has a large number of hairbands. Each hairband costs 8p. She buys 100 grams of wool for £3. Chloe uses 1 hairband and 5 grams of wool to make each scrunchie. She makes as many scrunchies as she can. Work out the total cost of each scrunchie that she makes. Give your answer in pence. Right. Okay, so, well, we know that a scrunchie is going to cost 8p for the hairband plus the cost of the wool. Okay. We know that 100 grams of the wool equals £3. I'm going to change this £3 into pence because I think the cost is going to end up being in pence. So 100 grams of wool equals 300p. Okay, there's 100 pennies to the pound, so that's how we've got this one. Now, if 100 grams of wool equals 300p, now I'm going to divide this both by 100 to get 1 gram will equal 3p. Okay, now if 1 gram of wool equals 3p, I can now times this by 5 to get 5 grams. So I times this by 5 as well. 3 times 5 is 15p. So here we go. So we've got 8p for the wool, and no, 8p for the hairband, plus 15p for the wool. So now we just need to do 8 plus 15. So 15, add 8. 5 add 8 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 add 1 is 2. So that will be 23 pence. So work out the total cost for each scrunchie. There we go. 23p. Right, let's look at this next question. So on the grid, draw the graph of y equals 4x minus 1 for values from x to values of x for negative 2 to 2. Right, so the first thing we need to do to plot this graph is to get coordinates. Okay, this here, if you ever see a graph like this, this is going to be a straight line graph. Okay, and the reason for that is any graph that just has a value of x like that, where x doesn't have any power, is always just going to give you a straight line. So, it says to go from minus 2 to 2, but because we don't have to deal with the negative numbers, because it's going to be a straight line, I'm just going to find out what y is. So I'm going to find y for x equals 0, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to just draw a line. So when x equals 1, when x equals 0 even, y equals 4 times 0, take away 1. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, so that gives us y equals minus 1. So we know that one coordinate that we're going to draw is 0, minus 1. Okay, another coordinate we're going to draw is, let's look when x equals 1. So if x equals 1, y equals 4 times 1 minus 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 1 gives us 3. So there we go, we've got another coordinate here, which is 1, 3. And then let's just do our third coordinate when x equals 2. So if x equals 2, y equals 4 times 2 minus 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 1, so that's going to give us 7. So there we go, we've got our third coordinate here, 2, 7. So now what I can do is I can plot these on the straight line graph. Let's get it right. So 0, x is 0, y is minus 1. X is 1, y is 3. X is 2, y is 7. And then use your ruler to join all of these with a nice straight line. Not like that one. Let's try once more. Okay, then line it up. Yeah, so that's not quite perfect, but just make sure you get your ruler and you make sure that it goes straight through the 3 dots that you've gone, and because it's continuing in a straight line, it will just continue. Right, Steve is buying a car. The car costs £12,000. Steve pays 25% of the cost as a deposit. He pays the rest of the cost in 20 equal payments. How much is each monthly payment? Okay, so we know that 100% of the car cost equals £12,000. We know that 10% of the car cost equals £1,200. We know that 5% of the car cost equals £600. Okay, 25% equals 10%, add 10%, add 5%. Okay, so we're going to do 1200 plus 1200 plus 600. Let me write that like this, though. Okay, so that's 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. 2 add 2 is 4. Add 6 is 10. 1 add 1 is 3. So therefore he pays £3,000 at the start. Okay. And then he pays the rest in 20 monthly payments. Okay, so we need to do the £12,000 minus the £3,000 to find out how much he's going to pay in the monthly instalments. So 0 add 0, 0 take away 0, 0 take away 0, 2 take away 3 we can't do. So we borrow the 1. 12 take away 3 is 9. Right, so he's paying £9,000 in 20 monthly instalments. So we've got to think about that. Let me just shrink this over here. So if 20 instalments equal £9,000, we want one instalment. So we're going to have to divide this by 20, and we'll divide this by 20 as well. So in order to do 9,000 divided by 20, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write it as a fraction. And first of all, I'm going to divide both these numbers by 10. So this becomes 900 over 2. And now 900 over 2, well, 900 over 2, that's half of 900. But I'm just going to use the bus stop method just to do that. So I put a 2 here. So 2's into 9 go 4 times with 1 left over. 2's into 10 go 5 times. And then I've got a 0 here. So each monthly instalment will be £450. Okay, right. Let's look at Shah. So it says here that Shah takes an exam. The exam is out for 60 marks. The exam is out for 60 marks. The exam is out of 60 marks. Shah needs to score at least 70% of the marks to pass the exam. He scores 45 marks. Shah wants to show that Shah passes the exam. Okay, so we need to show that 70%, well, we either need to work out what 45 out of 60 is as a percentage. Hello. Or we need to, so we either need to do 45 out of 60 as a percentage, or find 70% of 60. Okay, I think I'm going to find 70% of 60. So let's start by doing it that way. So 100% of 60 equals 60. 10% of 60 equals 6. Okay, because we've divided them both by 10. Okay, now 70% of 60 will be 7 lots of this. Here we go. So if I times that by 7, so 6 times 7 is 42. So 70% equals 42 marks. As 45 marks is more than 42 marks, Shah has passed. As 45 is more than 42, Shah has passed. Okay, right, let's try question 17. Here we go. Question 17 is work out 3/5 divided by 1/6. Okay, so we need to remember the trick, and the trick is that if you're dividing by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying as that fraction turned upside down. So here we go, we've got 3 over 5 multiplied by 6 over 1, and then we can just multiply across. So 3 times 6 is 18, 5 times 1 is 5. So this fraction is 18 over 5, but they say they want the answer as a mixed number. So we need to work that out. So basically we're looking for how many wholes can be made out of this, which is how many groups of 5 18 can be divided into. So, well, I could use it like a tally actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15. And then 1, 2, 3. So I can see that 18 is 3 whole groups of 5 with 3 left over. So that's 3 and 3/5. Okay, so I can do it like that. The other way to do it would be just to kind of, you can do 18 divided by 5. So 5 into 1 doesn't go. 5 into 18 goes 3 times, which is 15. Okay, and then you would have 3 left over. Okay, but instead of continuing this journey here, you'd just write it as 3 and 3/5. Okay, work out 6.3 times 2.4. So I'm going to do 63 times 24. And remember that I've times both of these by 10. So times 10 times 10. So what that means is I'm going to have to divide my answer by 10 twice. So divide answer by 10 twice. Okay, so I'm going to use this grid method here for this. It's called the lattice method. So 63, 24. 6 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 6 is 24. And now what I can do is I can add down these rows here like this. So 2 is here. 6 add 1 is 7, add 4 is 11. Put that little one there. 2 add 2 is 4, add this little one is 5. 1. So here we go. So this equals 1, 5, 1, 2. And there's a decimal point at the end there. But remember, because we times these numbers by 10 twice, once for this number here and once for this number here, we've got to divide our answer by 10 twice. So I go back 1, 2, and so my answer is going to be 15.12. Okay, and 15.12 makes sense because 6 times 2 is 12, so 15.12 isn't too far out of the region for that. So here we go, 15.12. Right, let's see what's next. Okay, write down the value of 5 to the power of 0. So 5 to the power of 0 is just 1. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So that's something we just need to know. Okay, write down the value of 5 to the power of minus 2. So if you've got a minus, this is the same as 1 over 5 to the power of 2. To the power of 2 means you multiply the number by itself. So this equals 1 over 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So this becomes 1 over 25. There we go. Right. So remember that if it's a negative power, you just put it 1 over. By the way, if it was a negative power and there was already something over it, so say for example you had something like 3 over 4 to the power of negative 2, this would be the same as 4 over 3 to the power of 2. Okay, so the negative just flips it. Okay, right. Write 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 4 in the form 2 to the power of n, where n is an integer. Okay, right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this 2 to the power of 5 here, but I'm going to rewrite this 2 to the power of 4 as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And I'm going to rewrite this 2 to the power of 3 as 2 times 2 times 2. Now, what I can do here is I can cancel any 2 that's on the bottom with any 2 that's on the top. So if I can get rid of this pair, I can get rid of this pair, and I can get rid of this pair. So this leaves me with 2 to the power of 5 times 2. Okay, now 2 to the power of 5 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 Okay, this has come from this 2 here. So this actually now equals 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So that would be 2 to the power of 6 there. Okay, right, and let's move on to the next question. Okay, question 20. Write 156 as a product of its prime factors. Okay, so this is going to be a test in your ability to halve numbers. So if I've got here 156, okay, I can see it's an even number, so this is going to be divided by 2. Now 156 divided by 2, well 100 will give us 50, 50 will give us 25, and 6 will give us 3. So 156 divided by 2 makes 78. Okay, so here we go, I'll put that there. And now what I've got, damn it. And now what we've got is we've got 78 divided by 2, because that's an even number as well. So 78 divided by 2, well, I can think of this as 70 and 8. 70 divided by 2, half of 70 is 35. Half of 8 is 4, so half of 78 will be 39. So there we go, 39. 39 doesn't divide by 2 because it's an odd number, but it does divide by 3. Okay, now let's just work that out if you're not sure. 39, 3. 3's into 3's goes once. 3's into 9 goes 3 times. So that's 13. Now 13 is a prime number, so we can stop here. And we've actually we've worked out all the prime numbers that multiply together to make 156. So all we now need to do is write this out like this: 2 times 2 times 3 times 13. Or if you wanted to show off, you could write it as 2 squared times 3 times 13. But both of these are acceptable answers. So this is fine, and this is fine here. Okay, right. Next bit, find the highest common factor of 156 and 130. So that means we've got to do the same thing again for 130. So I'm actually just going to write 156 out here. 156 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 13. And then let's do 130 over here. So 130 equals, well, I'm just going to go easy this time. I can see it's going to be 13 and 10. Okay. And then I'm going to go here. 10 can be divided by 2, which gives us 5. So 130 equals 2 times 5 times 13. Now, the thing about these numbers is that they all could be multiplied different ways to make the main number. So if I've got 156, I know that 2 is a factor of it, but I also know that 4 is a factor of it because I've got 2 times 2 here. I know that 6 is a factor of it because I've got 2 times 3 here. I know that 26 is a factor. Okay, so I can make my factors in different ways. Now what I'm looking for is the highest common factor to both of these numbers. So that's the highest thing that I can make from both of these numbers. And so that's going to be made by doing 2 times 13. Because we can do 2 times 13 within both of these numbers. So let's work out what 2 times 13 is. 2 times 13, 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 1 is 2. So 26 will be the highest common factor for both of these numbers. Right, let's move on. Right. So what I've got here is the mean length of 5 sticks is 4.2. Nawal measured the length of one of the sticks as 7 centimetres. Work out the mean length of all the 4 other sticks. Right, so the mean is everything added together divided by the number of things. So in other words, the total length of the sticks divided by 5 equals 4.2. Okay, so we can rearrange this. So we know that if we do 4.2 times 5, that's going to give us the total length of the sticks. So 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20. 1, 2. Okay, right. So we know that the total length of the sticks of the 5 sticks equals 21 centimetres. Now we know that one of these sticks is 7 centimetres. So let's take away that stick. So 21 take away 7 equals 14. Okay, so we know the total length of the 4 sticks of the remaining 4 equals 14. So then in that case, to find the mean of those, we're going to do 14 divided by 4. That's going to equal 7 divided by 2, which equals 3.5. So that will be 3.5 centimetres is the mean length for the rest of the 4 sticks. Whew! Nawal made a mistake. The stick was not 7 centimetres long, it was 17 centimetres long. How does that affect your answer to part A? Well, it means that the mean for the other 4 sticks is going to be a lot longer. As 21 take away 17 equals 4, okay, 4 divided by 4 equals 1, it would make the mean length of the other sticks shorter. Okie dokie, right. Let's have a look at this next bit. So here we go. Point P lies on the line AB. Use a ruler and a compass to construct an angle of 90 degrees at point P. Okay, so I don't have the compass, but what I am going to do is I will talk through what to do. So what we do is, if you imagine your compass, I can draw it here. Your compass is the thing that looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to put the point here, and then I've got the pencil here. Okay, so what I'm then going to do with this point and this pencil, I'm then going to draw a lovely circle all around here. Okay, then what I can do is I can take my compass to one of these points here, like this, and then, nah, it won't work. That would be a shame. It'd be nice if I could just rotate it. But basically, you're going to keep the point on one of the lines of the compass. Okay, so let me use a different colour pen. You're going to keep the compass point here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to draw an arc with this all the way up here and all the way down here, making sure we leave the lines. Okay, then we're going to take my compass and I'm going to move it to the other point where it crosses the line, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm going to draw all the way around here. Oh no, what's gone wrong? Oh, I had to widen the compass, that's it, sorry. So that's misleading when I've done that. But you need to widen the compass, and then you need to draw up here and up here, keeping the compass at the same length, and then you have to kind of draw through like this, and that should give you a nice right angle. Sorry about that, that was not the best explanation of that one. Okay, but yeah, so you want to end up with 2 lines like that. Okay, right, so let's look at the next question. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle. Okay, the diagram shows an isosceles triangle, ABD, and the straight line, ABC. So on here we get BA equals BD, BA equals BD, and we've got X to Y is 2 to 1. Okay. Work out the value of W. Right, so let's have a look at this. So if this is an isosceles triangle, that will also be X. if x to y is 2 to 1, what that means is, and you can kind of see it here, not that it's probably not drawn to scale, but what you can see here is that x is probably twice as big as y. So if x to y is 2 to 1, that means that x equals 2y. Okay? So that's what we've got there. If x to y is 2 to 1, that means that x equals 2y because x is twice as big as y. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these x's with 2y. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is 2y, this is 2y. Okay, and then we've got all of these coordinates inside this, all of the angles inside the triangle in the same form. Now, angles inside a triangle equal 180. Okay, so if your angles inside a triangle equal 180 degrees, these angles, we've got the angles inside the triangle add up to, we've got y, add 2y, add 2y, so they equal 5y. Okay, so what we're saying is that 5y is all the angles inside the triangle, and they equal 180 degrees. So we need to know what 1y is. Okay, so we need to work out what 1y is. Well, the way that we're going to do that is all of these things are the same, so we can just divide this by 5. So we need to do 180 divided by 5. So quick bus stop method up here. Okay, so y equals 16. Now, the next fact that we need to know is angles on a straight line equal 180. So if this is 16, this bit here is going to be 180 minus 16. Okay, so that's just what we need to work out. So we've got here 180 minus 16. 0 take away 6 we can't do, so we've got to borrow 1 from here. 10 take away 6 is 4. 7 take away 1 is 6. 1 take away nothing is 1. So there we go. The size of angle W will be 164 degrees. So W equals 164 degrees. Right, question 24. How many questions are there? Right, Mano has 3 bookshelves. There are X books on shelf A. There are 3X plus 1 books on shelf B. There are 2X minus 5 books on shelf C. There is a total of 44 books on all 3 shelves. All books have the same mass. If the books on shelf B have a total mass of 7,500 grams, work out the total mass of the books on shelf A. Oh man, okay, right. So, I think the first thing we need to do is work out how many books are on each shelf. Okay. So, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to have to add these 3 expressions together and then say that they're equal to 44. So, x plus 3x plus 1 plus 2x minus 5 is going to equal 44 books. X is a certain number of books, 3x plus 1 is a certain number of books, and 2x minus 5 is a certain number of books. Right, we need to collect the like terms. So we do the 3x, add the x, makes 4x, add 2x is 6x. 1 minus 5 is minus 4. So we get here that 6x minus 4 equals 44. Right, now we've got to think, what number take away 4 equals 44? Well, I know that 48 take away 4 equals 44. So therefore 6x equals 48. If 6x is 48, I can divide both sides by 6, just like we're doing with direct proportion. Okay, so that gives us 1x, and then 48 divided by 6 is 8. So x equals 8. So we know that there are 8 books on shelf A. Right, 3 times 8 plus 1 is 24 plus 1 equals 25. There's 25 books on shelf B. And then 2x minus 5 is going to be 2 times 8 minus 5. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 5 equals 11. There's 11 books on shelf B. On shelf C even. Okay, and then we breathe. And then we look at the rest of this question. Right. The books on shelf B have a total mass of 7,500 grams. Right, so there's 25 books on shelf B and they weigh this much, okay? Work out if all the books have the same mass, okay? So we know that 25 books equals 7,500. So we want to find out one book. So we need to divide by 25. So we're going to divide this by 25. So 7,500 divided by 25. Oh dear. Right, let's think about this. I sometimes like to write this as a fraction because sometimes that makes it easier. Right, there's different methods that I've got here. What I can do is I can actually divide both of these numbers by 5 first. Okay, so that becomes 5. And then let's do 7,500 divided by 5. So that goes in once with a 2 remainder. That goes in 5. Here we go. So that becomes 1,500 over 5. And then I can do 1,500 divided by 5. You really need to be able to divide for this exam. 5 divided into 1s goes this. And then 15, 5s into 15s goes 3 times. And then into zeros. So there we go. Each book weighs 300 grams. Okay. Work out the total mass of the books on shelf A. Well, there's 8 books on shelf A. And they all weigh 300 grams. So one book equals 300 grams. 8 books will equal this times 8. So we just need to do 300 times 8. 300 times 8, 0 times 8 is 0, 0 times 8 is 0, 8 times 3 is 24. Here we go, 2,400 grams. Okay, wonderful. Okay, right. Next question. Okay, so a piece of glass has a mass of 27 grams and a volume of 10 centimetres cubed. Work out the density of the piece of glass. Right, so with this one, we always have to look at the units here. So they've told us that they want it in grams per centimetres cubed, which tells me that density is in grams divided by centimetres cubed, okay? So the grams that they've given us here is 27. The centimetres cubed they've given us here is 10. So 27 divided by 10, well, that's going to be, well, if I do this, it goes to 2.7 over 1. So 2.7 grams per centimetres cubed. Here we go, 2.7. Remember, with this question, always look at the units. That's going to tell you what to do. Okay, question 26. Work out an estimate for this calculation here. So 5.7 is roughly 6. 8 is roughly, well, 8.2 is roughly 8. 0.26 is roughly 0.3. Okay, so let's do what we can. 8 times 6 is 48 over 0.3. I'm going to times both of these by 10 to say that that is 480 over 3. And now I'm going to do 480 divided by 3. Okay, this is just equivalent fractions here, by the way. So I just did that to make it simpler. And then 480 divided by 3 3's into 4 go once with a remainder of 1. 3's into 18 go 6 times perfectly, and then that's 0. So an estimate for this would be 160. Okay, right. Let's go to the next one. Questions 27. Expand and simplify. Okay, so this is the one where we do all these like wave things. So let's just go through it. So first we've got 3x times 2x. So 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. Then we have 3x times minus 5. 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. So this is going to be minus 15x. 2 times 2x is going to be 4x. And they're both positive, so that'll be positive 4x. 2 times minus 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So 2 times minus 5 is minus 10. Okay. And now we need to simplify it. The only bits of this we can simplify are these two bits. Okay. So let's say we're starting at minus 15. Remember, I always like to do a number line for here. We're at 0. Here's minus 15x. Okay. We're adding on 4x. So we're going up. We're increasing the value. We're getting closer to 0. So minus 14, minus 13, minus 12, minus 11. Okay, so this will become minus 11x. So here we go. We've got 6x squared minus 11x minus 10. Okay, factorise this. So this specific thing here is funny. It's only worth 1 mark because they expect you to remember it. And it's a thing called difference of the squares. And essentially, if I look at this is x squared and this is minus 4 squared. So whenever they tell you to factorise something that looks like this, which is x squared minus a squared number, they expect you to recognise this pattern. And that's why it's only worth 1 mark. Because then if you've got a square number, take away a square number like this, what we then can write it as is like this. X plus that square number, x minus that square number. And that will be the answer. So that'll be x plus 4, bracket, bracket, x minus 4. Oh, and then that's that done. Okay, well done for anyone that's got that far. I've actually got a few minutes now. I completed it quicker than I thought. So if anyone's got any questions or anything that they'd like me to go back through, I'll just stick around for a little bit and write them in the chat and we can go over something. I mean, if not, don't worry. But I'll wait for a few minutes and then just see. So, yeah, any questions, just write them down. I actually got some comments today, which is nice. It's funny, I don't really often get comments, but yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, yeah, but for both these comments. Hello. Maybe I'll reply to them. Aye, you can't really reply on this. I can just add in the chat. Yeah. Okay, well. If that's that, I think I'll probably sign off. So, thank you very much for anyone that joined, and good luck in your exam next week on Thursday if you're doing the GCSE exam. I hope it goes well for you, and hopefully see you in a couple of lessons and stuff over the next few weeks. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Good luck, and well done, and goodbye. Thank you.